Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we'll talk about malaria disease. The first thing that malaria disease is a febrile disease caused by different 5 species. The first one is Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium vivax, and Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malaria, and Plasmodium knowlesi. Plasmodium falciparum, which have the worst prognosis of malaria disease. Also, there is another Plasmodium cause severe malaria, which is Plasmodium knowlesi. And the Plasmodium vivax and Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malaria have a good prognosis. Oh, that face. Okay. Now we'll discuss the Plasmodium life cycle. First, the Anopheles mosquito will inject the sporozoite. Let's change the color. Okay, we'll inject the trophozoite. Sorry. Okay, we'll inject the sporozoite. Sorry. Then the sporozoite will go to the liver. Here is the liver. Then the sporozoite will enter the hepatocyte. Then in the hepatocyte, it will transform to the trophozoite. Here they will proliferate and replicate to form early schizoid. Early schizoid will transform to late schizoid. The difference between late and early schizoid that the nucleus here in the early schizoid will engulfed by membrane, cytoplasmic membrane. Then they form that these cells, this nucleus surrounded by a cell membrane. Then this help the schizoid to transform to the merozoite. That the merozoite will distract the cell, then go out of the cell. This is important thing that we understand that the organism that will go out of the cell is merozoite, not schizoid or not trophozoite or not other sporozoite. So the merozoite in most of the species, it will have one fate, while in other species or just in Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax, they have 2 fates. And this is very special to Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax. The 2 fates are the first one that or the special one that has the Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax has that the merozoite go again to the liver and infect other hepatocyte, then do the cycle again. The second fate, which has the all species of Plasmodium have that merozoite go to infect red blood cell and invade it. Then they go to they transform to trophozoite. Here is trophozoite. Then the trophozoite proliferate more to produce early schizoid. Then the early schizoid will transform to late schizoid. As you said, that the difference between them that here the early schizoid engulfed by or surrounded by cell membrane. Then they produce merozoite in the red blood cells, which will distract the red blood cell and go out to the circulation. Here we have the merozoite. The merozoite here also has 2 fates. Either they go to produce the gametocyte, and here is the male and here is the female, or go to infect another red blood cell and do the cycle in the erythrocytic cycle again. So as we know that malaria manifested by fever and chills. So how could the fever and chills be reduced? Here, as we know, in the red blood cells, when the merozoite distracted and go out to the circulation, the immune system is activated because there's an foreign bodies in the circulation. So when the immune system activated, there will be an immune reaction, will produce cytokines and these inflammatory cells that will result in fever and chills. So the merozoite also, when it goes and invade another red blood cells, then the red blood cells goes to the circulation and to the capillaries, as we know that blood goes to the all of the organs in our system in our body. So when it goes to the kidney, it might distract the capillary because the capillary is very narrow, and when the organism invade the red blood cells might distract it and block it. So we will it is the produce here in renal failure. In the lung will produce pneumonic edema or lung pulmonary edema, and in the brain will produce brain coma. So now we are ending from the plasmodium cycle. Now we go to another thing that we said that fever and chills will produce, but fever and the chills will produce at specific time according to which organism is infecting the human. First, the plasmodium malaria, and here the plasmodium vivax and ovale, as we know that they are always usually together, and here is the plasmodium falciparum. So plasmodium malaria is the fever and chills produced every 72 hours, which means every 3 days. And here Plasmodium vivax and ovale will produce the chills and fever every 48 hours, which means every 2 days. And Plasmodium falciparum, there is no specific interval for it, so it is produced irregularly. I'm sure that there are some people will think why it is 2 days, but here it is written tertian and here it is written 3, and also here quartan malaria 4 days. Well, it is produced in 3 days. Actually, the people who discovered these times at these intervals, they didn't yet have the zero number. So they start from 1, even if it is there's nothing, or 0 hours, and 2 by 1 day, and 3 by 2 days, and 4 by 3 days. I hope this is clear enough. So here also the incubation period, when the mosquito insect the sporozoite, 2 to 4 weeks until the symptoms occur. Here's a table summarize the things that we said, and also another important, very important information. So we start from here is the manifestation, and here is the organism. Episode of fever and the chills when it does come. In Plasmodium falciparum, as we said in the here, it is irregular, so we don't know exactly, but it is from 48 to 70 hour occur. Vivax and ovale, as we said here, it is 48 hours, which means 2 days, that we call this interval tertian malaria. Here in the Plasmodium malaria, it is produced every 72 hours, which means 3 days, and it is called quartan malaria. And Plasmodium knowlesi, as we said, that it is they don't have enough information about it, so it is not yet known. Hypnozoite, as we said here, we describe it here, as we said, Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax. Here is vivax. Have to have two fates. The first fate, which is regularly go to the circulation. The second fate, which is the most important or the most special for ovale and vivax, which goes to the liver and infect another hepatocyte and produce this cycle again in the liver. So, which means that the Plasmodium ovale and Vivax has the hypnozoites. What does that mean? Hypnozoite that enter the liver and goes to the liver. It will produce another malaria even after years, even you don't have an infection. So that's why they ask you regularly when you donate your blood, have you ever been or have you ever infection have you ever has infection with malaria? They want to know the answer because of this reason. So hypnozoite and Plasmodium falciparum, they don't have hypnozoite, which is a very good thing. Also, the malaria and nosy, they don't have. Anemia, as we said, that when the merozoite goes to the circulation, then infect the red blood cell, then do the cycle, then they distract the red blood cells. When they distract it, they produce hemolytic anemia. So it is positive in all organisms. Severe clinical manifestations, as we said, the Plasmodium falciparum, it produces very severe clinical manifestations. It affects the kidneys, the lung, the brain, which is very, very severe. Vivax and ovale, they don't have. Nolici, yes, they have. Chloroquine sensitivity, Plasmodium falciparum, usually it is resistant, which is a very important thing that you have to know. In Vivax and ovale, yeah, it is sensitive, and malaria, yes, it is sensitive, and Nolici, yes, it is sensitive, which is a very good thing because chloroquine is the first drug used to treat malaria, and it is very, very effective. Unless there is a resistance to it, as in the Plasmodium falciparum. And in the treatment, we have to know the endemic areas that have malaria and which are resistant, which are sensitive to treat it in the better way. That's it for the Malaria life cycle. We hope you understand it. Thank you very much.